Hey everybody, it's Shane here with daily-astrocat.com. And I want to talk to you here because we're changing things up a little bit because it is spring, right? So today we're going to discuss the daily astrological aspects that are in play from Wednesday, March 19th, all the way through Friday the 21st. Now, why are you doing this, Shane? Well, doing this because I think that it's a radical departure. First of all, I'm still going to give you the daily stuff, and if you go to the website, you'll still find the daily stuff. But daily-astrocat.com really wants to be your place for all things astrological, and we want to do it in a way that's going to be as less annoying as possible. I felt like it was spamming us too much, so chimes, purrs, the bell, that's perfectly good. The forecast, make it a couple times a week. That way we can make it larger, encompass some more interesting topics, and just move forward. Now, leave me what you think down at the bottom, okay? Let's discuss this. Tell me if you like it or not, all right? This week, these 3 days that I'm talking about, right, we're welcoming the Astrological New Year, okay? International Astrology Day, right? That'll be Thursday, the first day of spring. Now, change is here, and I intend to embrace it in a safe and hopefully effective manner. Our marquee event for these couple of days is the first day of spring. Yeah, change is in the air. I'm going to embody it, right? Going out on a limb. Here I go. Now, why do I do that? Well, my sun sign, Aries, happens to be, because I'm a Virgo ascendant, 8th house, change, regeneration, doing all that stuff, right? I hit spring and it's like, wow, I just want to do it all over again, right? That's really what I want to do. Now, probably a little bit too much information. However, I've been urging caution since last fall with Mars being retrograde. And now you can see that I'm starting to take some steps to tweak some things, right? Now, why would I want to do that? What am I doing with that? Well, Mercury's retrograde, but I really want to do that because I just feel like the daily content is lost, right? It's too much. It's too much and too little, okay? Your time is precious, and I want to make sure that you're able to focus on the things that you want to focus on. And by giving you a larger podcast with smaller bites of it in there. Now, you can still go to the website, daily-astrocat.com, and get the daily, just present it on your phone, almost like a weather report, right? It just sits there right there. You get the number, you get all the little aspects that I talk, not very many aspects, but you get the things that I talk about, the flow of the day, where the moon's at, what the daily number is. You get your event, you get your birthday. Now, I'm doing this because I just want to make sure that the message that I've got to deliver is coming through. And trying it during Mercury retrograde, right? Because it allows me to refine that message. We'll get to that towards the end, right? Because that's one of those important things that we need to know about. Now, what it's also going to do, though, it's also going to give it longer life for you. So once you get this podcast or once you get the YouTube video, you can actually go back to it and enjoy it over a couple of days. I'll put chapter markers in there, and you can just skip to the other days if you want, or you can listen to the whole thing, and that's cool, too. Listen several times. That's even better, right? Just whatever makes you happy and whatever gives you the most pleasure out of daily-astrocat.com, because it's our intent for it to be pleasurable and entertaining. Okay, so less spam from me, more information for you. I think that's a win, right? Okay, look, there's too many times that I feel that daily and weekly content miss the mark, having a continuous feel to it. You lose the continuity. Hopefully this way here, we'll be able to bridge that continuity between the weeks and days. And honestly, I struggled with that myself, because you can get focused, you can get just tunnel vision working on, thinking about one day, and it's just perfected aspects, right? Those things are in play all the way as we go through it, both applying and the separating aspects. So we really want to make sure that, I want to make sure that you're getting the most out of the astrology as I see it and write about it. And that's the other important point too, is because if you go to the blog site, which is blog daily-astrocat.com, you can find it in the feeds. I post it. I put it in the descriptions on the YouTube videos. You'll be able to see where that blog is, and basically it's going to read. It's like the little script, but it's not the transcript. The transcript is going to be different because I just ad-lib that stuff all over the place. But you'll see the bones of what I'm talking about down there, and then I throw a couple of little extra things in there as well. Hopefully, on the blog, I'm going to leave a chart. I don't think I'm going to have a chart in this video, only because I'm pressed for time, and I don't want it to be too late. Got work tomorrow and everything. So, but as we get further into this flow, and as I get further into this flow and start to get accustomed to it, I think that we'll be able to find ourselves in a way that's going to be very informative, happy, and just for better videos too, because I like to make things that are engaging. If you've seen some of my shorts, yeah, I like to play an experiment, right? Now, let's talk about Wednesday first, okay? Because, look, one more thing. Our goal here is to entertain, inform, and educate those who are interested in both astrology and astronomy, what's going on out there. I love going outside and looking up, because that's what gives the astrology something to really hang on to, right? Now let's talk about Wednesday, because Wednesday the moon's going to be in Scorpio, and it's void of course. It begins the day void of course. It enters Sagittarius 4:17 p.m. That's a long void of course day. It's a super creative day though, and it's the last day of the sun in Pisces. Now, what we're really working on, though, is you see that I'm not saying that this is daily-astrocat car repair or anything like that. No, it's astrology. Not that I know anything about car repair, but daily-astrocat trying to get people into your house to do work, yeah, I'm good at that, okay? I've been doing that for my last week of vacation. Electricians, tree work, stuff like that. However, we're talking about existing projects. We're not talking about anything new. Look, you're not going to interrupt your deep work. I like that term. Don't interrupt your deep work. Keep plugging along. Today's keyword is duty. You have a duty to yourself and a duty to your people who listen to you, people who do things like that, right? And our color is sky blue. Now, the sun is at that last degree of Pisces. It's an interesting degree because it's almost like a reflective one. There's the Sabian symbol for it is, I believe it's somebody looking at one of these man in the mountain formations. Thought to be eternal, but they're not. They can dissolve. It's in that last degree of Pisces. So it's basically what you think things are built upon, and then we're going to enter that. I'll save that for tomorrow. Save that for tomorrow, Shane. Okay. So the end of the beginning, we're at that nodal cycle shift where those nodes have shifted from Aries, Libra, to Pisces, Virgo. We already felt that once, right? I got my glass of moon water right here from that very eclipse night that I'm just sitting here sipping and enjoying, keeping myself hydrated and definitely in the spirit. I love that stuff. It's actually good because it just, if you have city tap water, that chlorine just flashes off when it's in the jar as you pour it, because it just aerates, and it's tasty as anything. So what happens though is we're going to, not too many people are going to notice what this shift is. They're not going to know what to do with it. You can feel it, though. You can really feel it. There's some beginnings and endings that are happening. We're entering new chapters in a lot of different phases in our lives and a lot of different places. And every spring, it doesn't feel quite like this. It feels like this because the nodes are moving, because we have Pluto that just entered Aquarius for 20 years. We're going to have Neptune and Saturn entering Aries next year for a good period of time, right? And then not only that, but we're going to have Jupiter and Uranus also changing signs. So all the outer planets are starting to shift, and it's going to feel really momentous as we're moving into this. And right now we're on the cusp of that because we have that north node that just went from Aries into Pisces. It passed that lunar standstill, where it was at the northernmost point. I'm pointing north. You probably can't tell, but I'm pointing north. But where the moon came up, it was way up there. It was amazing, right? I don't know if you caught that back in January, but that was really, really cool. And that was when it was at 0 degrees Aries. And now it's back into Pisces because the moon actually moves counter to the way the planets move, the nodes of the moon. And that's where it passes the ecliptic and where we can trigger these eclipses. For an imaginary point, it's very powerful and very good to know. Now, evolutionarily, where we're at, with the nodes, which is what the evolutionary astrologers like to really refer to when they're talking about karma and past lives and everything. This is a very interesting point because it's going to allow us to really just review what it is that we should be doing, what it is that we are doing. AstroCat is something I'm very committed to, and I'm going to be doing for a long time. So get used to me. I'm here. However, what's really happening is that I want to get my message out to you, and I want to make it more and more my mission to put out better and better content. That's what I'm doing. Now, what are you doing? That's the question. The question is, how are you going to use this opportunity to do what it is that you feel your calling is, what it is that you're supposed to be, meant to do, what you were placed on this earth to do? How are we going to advance ourselves in ways that are helping others, right? How are we going to advance that kind of caring and that kind of attitude? And in Pisces, that's a very caring and very prescient thing to do, because Pisces is empathetic. Pisces is that sensitive, emotional, that's just wanting to help, wanting to give it all, sometimes to their own detriment, right? But it's also very creative and very artistic, and it's also very dreamy and fantasy-like, and it's a beautiful place, and it's a beautiful place to be going through, because what happens is that just the reality just kind of dissolves around there, and it just becomes this wispy world. And as we, energetically, as humans, are passing through this period of great change and great this confluence of energy, astrological energy, has never really been experienced. It's been years since anything like this is. And by years, I mean tens of thousands of years. Humans might not have even existed in forms that you would recognize them in the last time this may have occurred. That's how unique this situation is. What you do with it is really up to you. Now, let's talk about this. There's weight to actions that are being undertaken now. And what should be apparent, look, it's still shrouded in all sorts of stuff, right? There's propaganda out there. There's all sorts of misinformation. We're not getting at what it is that we exactly need. And it's really hard to cut through all that chaff. I'm trying. You should be trying too. We need to do it. It's not pretty when the truth's revealed either. However, we need to protect what's ours more now than ever. So really, it's up to you to be part of this process, to be part of this discovery and be part of what it is that we're doing. This is this grand experiment, this astrological experiment, this whatever you want to call your experiment, whatever your creative experiment is, whether you're documenting the times or you're commenting upon them or you are using them to as a basis for something new. Maybe you're launching a career out of this. We don't know. And you have to know that it's your duty to do that, to protect what's yours. Now, more than ever. Now, there's going to be some talk of travel because once that moon enters Sagittarius, we want to start getting along, right? Look, and sometimes it's even like, I want to move to a different country. Permanent nature, right? Art colonies, writers' communes, lifestyle communities. Hey, they're all going to start resurfacing, right? You're going to see it. You're going to start seeing them come up around. This is one of those things. Now, is this a Pluto and Aquarius thing? Like taking us back to this time of the age of Aquarius? What some folks believe we're entering with this Pluto movement. I'm kind of included in that. Or are we moving forward? And instead of going backwards, we should be moving forward. Tonight, being Wednesday night, if you're listening to this for Wednesday, you're going to prepare for spring and the festival of Ostara. Yep, that's the pagan festival. You can tell that Easter gets its name from it, Ostara. And that's what I got for you. Now, in 1077, the Norman monk Gundulf, I picked this because his name is Gundulf, not Gandalf, Gundulf. He was consecrated as the Bishop of Rochester. He's actually an architect, and he went on to build Rochester Castle and the White Tower, which is the Tower of London. Built in 1077, 1078, still there. Not a bad builder, right? I don't think so. And he was the engineer for William the Conqueror. That guy, 1066. We learned about that in English class. And our birth is none other than Mr. Bruce Willis, 69 years old. Hats off to you. Yippee-yi-yo-ki-yay. American actor. He's moonlighting in Die Hard. He's born in Eider, Oberstein, West Germany, and still around. And that's all I got for you. So Wednesday is definitely a 5. Now, let's switch gears a little bit, because as we go through that creative stuff in Pisces, now Moon's in Sagittarius. Remember, Sagittarius is curious. Sagittarius is searching. Sagittarius loves philosophy, loves education, loves travel, right? It's optimistic. It's one of the most optimistic signs. And that Archer aims for the horizon and lets it fly, right? Just let it go. Spring begins at 5:01 on the East Coast. 5:01. Adjust for time wherever you're at. This is a positive day. We feel good, and it's a great day for the serious-minded to patch up your strained relationships and get communication back on track. It's International Astrology Day. Hug an astrologer. Yeah, you can do that. Today's keyword is hug, and springtime is a good time for hugs. The little animals are out there doing a little bit more than hugging. We've got fat doves in the bird feeders at work. It's kind of nice, right? And the color is sunshine in the morning. How nice of a spring color is that, right? Are you? Look, it's time for another shift. And this one here, this beginning of this year, is very, very auspicious in some ways. I like it. I like it a lot. It feels like it's tumultuous, but it's really your perspective. Change is going to happen. Change is going to be what's going on. And the more you can embrace it and the more you can take control of what changes you need to do and what actions you need to put forward, as Mars starts moving through Cancer and gets out of Cancer, those changes are going to have more and more consequence for you and your future. So just think about it that way. I've got a long-term plan here, and we're going to get into that as we start talking, but we're really talking about, it's right there. So look, if you're looking for attention, the Moon in Sagittarius makes it easy to try something and then skip away as if nothing else ever mattered, right? Because this is going to look for the next big thrill. The thrill that Jupiter's having in Gemini, it's illicit at best, and it's driving conversation maybe to leave those things behind. So we just have to make sure that we're careful. Now, the hidden message here is that Mars, Uranus, Sun, Pluto, and they're all in sextiles that form a cradle. So we're kind of in a nice spot where we're protected, but where's the cradle open at? Well, it's open at both Libra and Virgo. So once we leave the safety of this little thing that we've got going on with this comfy sextile in Pisces, where we're just like, okay, this is dream world. We're just okay. Nothing's really happening. Pretty soon you're going to be thrust out into the world. You're going to be into the Aries mode, and it's going to be go time. And then you're going to be scrambling for what it is that you need to do to make your life better as we enter the Taurus time. And then we're going to get into Gemini time, and that's going to be just like, whoa. All right, so let's think about this. We're leaving that stuff behind. The bigger thrill, we're going to skip that. Skip that because, did you hear what I said? Mars, Uranus, the Sun, and Pluto. All right? In that little protective cradle is Saturn. In that is Mercury and Venus, all retrograde. We also have Chiron there as well. Chiron is not retrograde. I almost said that. It will be soon, though. And Pluto will be retrograde soon, too. But Pluto will not be leaving Aquarius this time. Pluto stays in Aquarius. All those outer planets, they're retrograde for half the time anyway, because the Earth's going to go around, and, as we begin lapping them, they look like they're moving backwards. That's all. So, as we're driving the Earth, right? All right. But look, protect yourself, pace your offerings. Just know that, it's always a marathon. It takes time. Virgo season is where the adventure will take us. Just what I said with that open cradle, right? Libra season is where we will experience some of the acclaim and some of the reward. Okay, so in 1991, speaking of awards, the court awards singer-songwriter Peggy Lee $3 million in a suit against Disney regarding home video royalties. Peggy Lee? The lady that did Fever? Yeah. Well, she also wrote 6 songs for the Aristocats. And she was the, Peg, the sexy nightclub act that was in the movie. So, yeah, they sold lots of copies of it. She had a contract that said that she had mechanical, I guess there was some kind of mechanical royalty that she could have gotten from recorded royalties from it. And she was able to actually prove in a court of law and appear herself in the court of law that Disney had referred to the mechanical royalties of recording in a previous lawsuit against somebody, saying that was injuring their ability to collect money on that. So she was able to take Disney's words, use them against them, and she was the first person to successfully sue Disney Corporation for royalties of that sort. Talk about taking on a giant, right? Taking on a giant. And Frederick Winslow Taylor. Okay, let's talk about Frederick Winslow Taylor, shall we? He's an American mathematical engineer and the father of scientific management. What does that mean? I can tell you, he was the first management consultant. He spawned this whole business. Hey, consulting. That's his thing. Now, interestingly enough, the Winslow in Winslow is actually from the Mayflower and from Massachusetts. One of his ancestors was actually one of the early governors of the Plymouth colony. Yes, he's one of the only ones that came over with servants as well. Okay, so he's born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and he died in 1915, and that's what we have for you. So that would be a good one, right? Now, the number, oh boy, did I give a number for this one here? Yeah, no, not really. Oh man, I believe it's a 5. If not, it's a 5, it's a 6. It's somewhere around there. Enjoy the spring, enjoy the equinox, hug an astrologer. Finally, we got Friday. And Friday, everybody loves Fridays, right? My office, they all love Fridays. Friday is here. Yes, Friday. Of course, right? It's for you guys if you're listening. You should be. Okay, so Friday, and the moon's going to be in Sagittarius all day long again. Once again, talking about what? Planning trips. Yes. Person across from me, going to Puerto Rico. That's all I hear. Trying to do all the things to get ready for a trip to Puerto Rico. Yes, indeed. Another one down, going back home to Russia. Yes. Talk about travel. Talk about doing things. That's what we're doing, right? Now, good time to do it. Planning trips, learning things. Yes, a positive, optimistic outlook and the gift of second sight are all associated with the Sagittarius moon. Bet you didn't know that part, did you? It's because it's Jupiter ruled. Is this available to all? Well, why not? Just feel it. Get with it. You can feel it. Now, what's changing? Well, the season, first of all. Attitudes, ambitions, hopes, dreams, reality, they're all in the mix. We can get along with that. I'm down with that. You down with that? Yeah. Just remember that today is the first day of a new astrological year. And it's just the beginning. Right. So today's keyword is a starting line. Apt metaphor for what I'm doing right now with this 3-day forecast, right? Yes, Daily AstroCat in 3 parts. Right today. Next week, it may be 5 days, maybe 4 days and 3 days. I don't know. But this is a starting line. We'll see where I go with the race, right? Our color is magenta. Now, let me just ask you something. Because there's been a couple protests around, and they're mostly led by women, right? So, who pissed off the ladies? This is a bad move, okay? This is a very bad move because right now with all that energy in Pisces, we've got a very female vibe going on, right? A divine female, and I'm talking to the female and everybody, not just women in general, but we all share in these things. Now, apparently, what people really, what some people want are for women to be, moving back. I've covered some of these things where women couldn't have bank accounts, they couldn't own property, and couldn't vote and do all of those things all throughout time. And as a society, you actually have people that are talking about these things. In the United States, they're talking about this, saying that, we need to go back. No, we don't need to go back. We're better than that, okay? Females, women, ladies, everybody out there listening to me, if you identify as such, look, you gotta make sure that you're just sticking up for yourself and you're doing some of this work, right? You're fulfilling your duty. You're doing the things that the spring is going to be bringing us to, right? Venus is actually in her second sextile with Pluto, and that's where this is leading because this is going to be Pluto's in in Aquarius, and Aquarius is social action, social contracts, social things that are bigger, right? It's not just a marriage contract. It's a social compact where we agree to be in a society and agree to be regulated, but we need to get something in return, right? Because it's a cooperative thing. The times of the kings, that was the last Pluto cycle, and they were told, boop, out. So Venus is in her second sextile with Pluto. Pluto wants change. If you remember the first time that Venus was sextile with Pluto in Aries, Pluto was going to try to see if he could get the women, the ladies, the females, the divine females out there to start affecting societal change. It's coming. This is where it's heading. Not editorializing or anything. I'm just telling you what the astrology is saying. All right? Now, look, Pluto wants change, and there's whispers of it. We can hear it, okay? The moon in Sagittarius is divinatory in nature. She can sense the frustration, but she is underestimating the reaction. We are all as it is, under the radar. We're not going to see this stuff coming. There's surprises that happen during the week and during the days and everything like that. We're going to be focusing a little bit more on that too as we move forward with these longer forecasts, longer shows, for the lack of a better word. And look, it's coming soon, right? City streets around the world, you're going to be seeing it. We already saw it on Women's Day. It's going to be more and more prevalent. Now, Venus is retrograde, and it's not going to be until mid-April until we start to feel this really begin to blossom and come out. All right? It seems like maybe Earth Day here in the United States. Earth Day will be a good time for starting to see some of this stuff come out. Our event, all right, in 1952, this might explain something, why the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is in Cleveland, because there was 20,000 who attempted to attend the first rock and roll concert ever when Alan Freed presents the Moondog Coronation Ball at an old 12,000-seat Cleveland arena. So, that leaves about 8,000 people without tickets. All right, and the performers included Paul Williams and the Hucklebuckers, Tiny Grimes and the Rocking Highlanders, the Dominoes, and Veretta Dillard. Household names, every single one, right? All right. So, and our birth is Modest Mussorgsky. He's a Russian composer born in 1839. He's the guy that did Night on Bald Mountain. Pretty cool. Pictures in exhibition as well. Still gets massive amounts of play today. Died in 1881. He's born in Karayevo in Russia. And that's all I got for you. Today, this particular day is gonna be a 6. All right, so we got 6s all around. Those are good. And once again, that color is magenta, and the keyword was starting line for Friday. Okay, so 3 days for you. What do we get here, Shane? Look, the flow and symbolism of these days are going to be unmistakable. We're going to begin to slowly energize, review, renew our beliefs in ourselves, our abilities, and in our causes, okay? You're going to do this deliberately, and we're going to let data and numbers inform our choices. We're going to see indications of success or failure almost immediately, and we're going to be able to adjust accordingly because that's what those retrogrades are for. The Mercury retrograde, yeah. Did I have a problem with my brand new spiffy phone? You bet you. And I did that way before the Mercury retrograde. But the first billing cycle's coming up right now. And guess what? Yep, it's going to be messed up. Now, do I regret it? No, I don't. But is it what I thought it would be? No, it's not. Now, also, just so you know, Venus is in her retrograde as well. That petal just bloomed. That petal just formed. I started AstroCat with that petal. I'm recommitting myself to AstroCat with this petal. I really hope you enjoy this particular presentation. I hope you leave me some comments and everything like that. I hope you just find it useful as we get some more continuity into these things and we breathe some life into this astrology, because I love it. It's a great vehicle for writing, and it's a great vehicle for just thinking. And it's not what will happen, but it's what possibilities are, what we can move into, what we can move towards. All right. We're going to enter the weekend, and we're going to be chewing on all this new information. Yeah. I'm going to have another one for you for 2 days, okay? Saturday and Sunday. And then Sunday night, I'll release whatever's going to be released for the next week. Look for the chart in the blog drawing. I'll put it in there. I may put a couple other little tidbits in there, too. I'm not quite sure. A couple little images or something like that. All right. So, look, this may very well be exactly what was missing, okay? What's missing in our lives. What's missing in your life? Try to find it, okay? Look, like blossoms, like the spring. The spring is bringing us new flowers. The spring brings us new flowers every year, new leaves, new everything. Like blossoms, the next petal of Venus is going to open for all of us. And it's going to open us up to new creative, romantic, and monetary possibilities. Sounds good, right? That's what I have for you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate and love each and every single one of you every single time I do this. I already gave you all the numbers for the day. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get the week wrapped up so we can move into the weekend free, clear, and ready to have some fun, right? I love that. Thank you for listening. Happy astrocatting.